We are going to work it so that you'll have a one approval process, not have to go through 50 states in the United States. You know, you can't go through 50 states. You have to get one approval. 50 states is a disaster because you have one woke state and you have to do all woke. You'll be back into the woke business. We don't have woke anymore in this country. It's virtually illegal. But you'll have a couple of wokesters, and we don't want to do that.
Woke, it's got a regenerating health bar, got shields.
We thought we took down woke, but then its health bar flashed and it got bigger.
We all have been there. We all have been there.
We tell you, there are a couple of wokesters left, and we're not going to get 100% completion.
Woke is a kind of optional boss, yeah. It's so cool that this dementia-ridden pedophile is president.
So what is he talking about? He's talking about getting data centers approved, and he's saying that if you have to go through all 50 states, one of the woke ones is going to make your AI woke.
This is the thing, right? With any president, whether you like them, you shouldn't, or not, right? The job kills them eventually because it's just too big and too weird, and it fries their brain. And ultimately, like this week, the week where everything is falling apart, you're seeing sort of Trump as a man on the brink. You know, he should have stayed home.
I'm going to actually say that actually he's right, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. So I recently applied for a job with Zoran, and I got it, and I'm on a project where I'm creating something which I'm going to exclusively reveal is going to be called Mumdan AI. And the whole point is to make the AI woke. Right. And so when it goes to New York, like we're going to corrupt it by making the AI woke, and it's going to like fry all the AI people's brains.
There's something weird with this AI. It keeps trying to give me they, them pronouns.
Yeah. Also like if you use it, you become Muslim, and that's kind of like,
baby, we don't need the AI for that.
Not again.
So I love working on Zoran's campaign when my job is to use Mumdan AI to turn everyone Shia. My boss knows all about it, and he's smiling at me and nodding his head.
I haven't done Shia yet, actually. So you know what? If I ever did do the comeback, I would have to sort of like in the name of bipartisanship. That's what I would have to do. So maybe
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's a lot of like ornaments and rituals, and that can be quite fun. But also,
I do approve of that
like
sort of thing.
It does take up like a lot more time than like the Sunni version does.
I got to be honest. I was quiet quitting for a while.
The thing that's got me wound up about this is that like I have literally for a recent episode just spent like a week reading about like the Weimar Constitution and Article 48 and the Enabling Act, and like say what you want about that stuff, like there at least is some kind of a sequence or procedure that you have to go, kind of impressive you pulled that off, and then you turn onto this fuckwit and it's literally a thing where it's like, oh yeah, it needs to be just one state, like fuck all 50 because it's all woke, so you just need like, I see the brute force because of woke, like yeah, woke, like nah, can't have the woke AI, woke states, like nah, and it's like fuck, this really is like second time as fast, isn't it?
Yeah, easy mode Hitler.
It's true.
I mean, pretty much. Like you've sort of put it in more like articulate terms, but it is something that I think about whenever I kind of like read the dang news, which is just like, it does sort of feel like we're repeating a lot of things that happened in the 20th century, but we're also being like much more dumb about it.
Well, like the second time in a row for Hussein, like you don't got to hand it to Hitler. However,
you know what? Say what you will. He was able to string a sentence together.
You know what else? We know another pattern from history we're repeating. It's not introducing the show at the start.
That's right. I wanted to do a little cold open to give a little spice to it. But
let me just pitch something to you. Something I like to call the hot open.
The hot open, where I say something like, hey, welcome to TF. It's Riley, Nova, Hussein. It's a bonus episode. We are here with Gregk Foley. I'd say first time, long time.
Absolutely.
And the host of the new show Bloodwork about the epistemology of violence.
Epistemology, economy, libidinal drives, politics, sociology, culture. Baby, you can fit a lot in this thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. Lovely to be here.
Yeah,
I would say that would be a good way to introduce the show. But we didn't do that, so, you know.
No. You know
good
what?
thing we didn't.
It's a good, you know what? We tried both, and then next time we'll see which one we prefer. So I found a company that I think is pretty aligned with a little bit of the kinds of things Greg thinks about. It can only be described described as weaponized geoguessr,
Fantastic.
which is pretty cool.
It's great. I love it.
But before we get there, I have a couple of news items, which is, did you know, I don't know, maybe you did know, maybe you didn't, that some man-made horrors beyond comprehension have emerged in Kingston on Thames in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a likely place for them. Yeah.
Yes, the annual Christmas mural in Kingston contains pictures of people melting into snowmen.
I'm seeing this now. Yeah, it's got a bit Hieronymus Bosch. They aimed for Bruegel and they went past Bruegel and they hit Bosch, which is a easy thing to do. I
don't know if you know how accurate you actually are with that point.
I'm liking the kind of snowman with the 3 melting fur hands and also the fur top hat and the broken a snowman with a broken nose. Dangerous character in Tinseltown. You wouldn't want to fuck with him.
Can I just interject in this very smart point to say that I really want Big John to say Hieronymus Bosch?
All right, Big John, if you're listening.
I mean, look, we have a connect. The Screen Rock guys, if you're listening to this, can you please get Big John to say Hieronymus Bosch?
Yes, perfect.
And I'd be very happy if he did that.
So dogs are blurring into chickens. Humans are transforming into animals. It's full of grotesque.
That dog has a backward tail for a head.
Yeah, burning penguins. This feels portentous.
Burning penguins is really, really good. I just, you remember how it used to be, before woke, when you used to sort of gather around with your family and grill penguins together.
When you'd be shivering shivering from the cold breeze and toss another penguin on the fire.
Can I just ask, because I live in Kent and I'm not
sorry about
that. Is there something wrong with it?
Well, here's the thing. This, according to London Centric, apparently the most loud complaints by locals in Kingston have been coordinated on Facebook groups, which suggest that the image of people running across a frozen Thames, so this was portraying a time where the Thames froze in the 19th century and people had a big party on it.
I'm pretty certain people in the 19th century had pencils and stuff, so they could draw pictures of it, but I'm sure none of those exist still.
No, of course. So you had to do this. So anyway, what happened is a number of people organized on Facebook to suggest that a picture of people at Christmas running across a body of water was supportive of small boats.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
Okay. It's woke. It's actually been woke the whole time.
Yeah,
because the typical migrants coming over here burning our traditional penguins. They don't want you to know this, but in Richmond upon Thames, they're burning the penguins. They're eating the penguins.
Yeah, they used the Mum.ai to make this woke mural.
This is really good. I look forward to more forms of kind of migrant paranoia in the sense of completely disconnected from reality, being living in, down the Thames in Henley, being stop the boat about the boat race.
The boat race is supportive of the concept of boats in general.
Yeah, I think we as a country, right, will only be free from the tyranny of globalization when every single British person no longer understands the concept of a boat and believes that you die when you go in water, like in GTA Vice City.
Well, I'm going to say we're going to be like when China destroyed its navy in 1525. We're going to be like, no more boats.
Yeah, we're going to be like that well-known event when China destroyed its navy. Yeah.
My favorite part of this story is the quote from the restaurant manager where he just says, "There's clearly something political about it, but nobody knows what it is." If ever there was a slogan for our times, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you to that man.
Some politics is happening. Can't quite put my
finger on it. The thing is,
right,
if there is something political about it, but you're not sure what it is, I have 2 answers for you. The first one, don't worry about it. And then, the second one is, maybe you're out of your depth. But in either case, you can just move on.
I feel like I'm out of my depth.
Yeah, well, the water's frozen. You can't be out of your depth.
Well, I'm looking at this, and this man is wearing a kind of Santa Claus hijab, which...
That is my depth. That is exactly my depth.
Used to be mine, but, I got better.
We have appeared to have engaged in... possibly they've opened a portal with this dark ritual.
Well, you get enough penguins together, that's sort of happens.
Yeah. Portal's inevitable with that many penguins. Yeah, at this point, it's not a question of whether you got a portal, it's a question of how many.
See, this is the thing, is that one of the criticisms that people have is that the figures in this mural bear no resemblance to real British people in social life, to which I say, I think the British flatter themselves, frankly.
We're much more grotesque.
We've all got that one friend with the broken carrot nose.
I'm in there 3 times.
I actually, after this, I'm going to go hang out with my friend who's currently like mid-level anamorphing into a chicken.
There's so many fur top hats, which, to be fair, there was a time in British life when you could have said that just walking around, albeit in Camden, but still.
What, like 2006?
Yeah.
Can't wear them anymore because of woke.
Yeah, that's right. We appear to have opened a portal in Kingston, but like you say, we don't know what the portal is to or why it's open, but it's clearly open.
Okay, sure. Act accordingly.
Yeah. So, be careful. We don't know why or of what.
If you feel out of your depth with any of this stuff, I feel like the sort of, you were right. Like the short-term survival advice is just keep it moving, Yeah. You're going to see a lot of shit like this in like the future until the AI bubble bursts. So, for the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some burning penguins on stuff. Just like head down, headphones in, just keep it moving.
Yeah. So the thing is, you're going to, if you don't do that, then you're in danger of trying to be like, this says something about society, and then trying to figure out what it says. And then you're going to be on Facebook complaining about small boats and burning penguins.
Yeah. Maybe society has nothing to say to you on this point.
Yeah. So I want to move on a little bit because it's time to visit an old friend, our good old friend, Euan, the son of Tony Blair.
One of the all-time sons, you have to say.
Oh, one of the, a son beaten only by the Han the Web guy.
Yeah.
In terms of like overall sun power.
Sun-powered, kind of ubiquity, unwantedness by us.
Yeah, the only thing, you know what it is? It's like what Euan Blair lacks in sheer sun chutzpah of Richard Evans, Han the Web, just to remind everyone, hantheweb.co.uk, is he makes up for, and unfortunately, utter ubiquity and a sort of significant place in our economy that is not just selling access to his father. So, because Euan Blair started Multiverse, a company that was supposed to replace universities with apprenticeships, and whose whole model was basically just hoovering up huge amounts of the government's apprenticeship levy that was meant to get people into careers, but instead just keeping it.
Oh, cool. My favorite part of any government policy is when some guy who's connected takes a bunch of it for something that everyone knows won't work.
Yep.
Do you know what this middle needs? A man.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? You're not like placing apprentices anymore. No one's hiring. So you got to pivot, right?
Okay, sure. He's apprenticeships solved. Next question.
So now he is turning to the NHS.
Oh, good. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Blair, who runs the tech group Multiverse, not a tech company, but the credulous, the people who are actively promoting him in the Telegraph are like, oh, the tech group Multiverse, not a tech company, just a way to privatize public capital, says that AI could successfully reverse NHS workforce productivity decline and ultimately save lives. Blair said his company, which he founded in 2016, plans to train up thousands of doctors, nurses, and support staff to use AI to improve services for patients, saying, quote, the stakes are so high, if we don't take the workforce in the journey, you add to the productivity doom loop and people will die. This is an adoption challenge as much as it is a technology challenge. You've got to start with the tens of thousands and then scale up to the hundreds of thousands of workers because everyone's being impacted.
Because the current government's attitude towards doctors and nurses is one of like West Streeting saying, we will put you in a fucking gulag if you strike again, right? And this not working. So really, I'm looking forward to, I guess, the army at this point, sort of herding a bunch of junior doctors into a room so Tony Blair's kid can be like, okay, so this is an iPad.
Man selling monorail says only monorail can reverse decline of downtown district.
The fucking doom loop bit as well is such a like, you know how on like any of my podcasts you can like guess which movie I've seen most recently or like book I've read most recently? That's fine because I'm an idiot professionally, but like you're not supposed to be able to do that for like the guy who's putting like AI in the NHS. And the doom loop thing is such a fucking obvious buzzword, you know?
It's a buzzword that refers to like, oh, it's in a productivity doom loop because anytime they spend catching up to their current, like to meet their current backlog, their backlog is just getting worse. But yeah, that's absolutely, it's instead of saying like an underfunding crisis, you can call it a doom loop because that sounds like it's something inherent to like the structure of the NHS itself. It's something faulty with it. It's not that it's being sabotaged. It's in one of these things somehow. We don't know how it got there. He says, anyone who has the experience of spending time in the NHS is typically horrified to discover things are still down on pen and paper. famously, there are still fax machines.
I'm willing to get fully special interest about that and be like, sometimes that is the best solution to a technological problem as a fax machine.
Yeah, it is like genuinely like it is, and there is like research to sort of suggest that is the case. Also, like there are specific reasons why like those tech, because like the thing that I sort of get frustrated by is this sort of sense of like, oh, the NHS, it's really outdated, and if it sort of became really modern with like touch, like everything was touchscreen, and it would just sort of be better. Which, like, number one, there are lots of fucking examples like around to sort of prove otherwise, in terms of like, I do challenge a lot of people to kind of think of a industry where like things kind of became sort of touch screenified and like services got better. I don't necessarily think that there really is an example of it. But also, like, I know people who are doctors who kind of like, who have said, like, yeah, like those fax machines, like they still mostly communicate via email, right? Like that is like the way in which like it is a sort of modern organization in that way. Like fax machines are kind of used for like specific kinds of documents, or to sort of like if there is stuff that just sort of needs to be sent immediately, like it's much easier to sort of see stuff on paper. If like you've taken handwritten notes, for example, it's quicker to use a fax machine to sort of send that through than to like scan it into a computer, and then like your Adobe AI is like, they're like, you know, trying to change everything and like put, you know, fucking sparkly stickers over it before. Like, I don't know, like Adobe AI fucking sucks. I have so many like issues with it. The point just being that like those fax machines and like those types of older technologies, like they exist for a reason, and like they are sort of using the technology that they have to the optimal ability that it could, but also like the idea that this is sort of like a relic that shows how kind of antiquated the NHS is. And it's like, well, running like a medical institution, especially to that scale, is like, you know, you cannot just sort of go in and like techify everything. It doesn't work like that. Very similar almost to pilots, actually, and the way in which like pilots still kind of use very old school methods, like checklist methods and stuff to sort of like, you know, allow planes to sort of fly safely.
The desire to like smoothen it, right? To make it all an app.
There are also like security like, I'm just with you talking about planes, is saying you've got me thinking about like, planes is a very similar thing in terms of security. Like certain systems, you don't actually want them to be streamlined and made smoother so that anybody can walk up to them and use them. That could actually be a security hazard.
The lesson of like kind of modernization, so to speak, in terms of like, oh yeah, let's move all our information to the cloud.
All of your information has now been sort of like hacked and is now locked behind some random
exactly
website.
But also like I think about like the McDonald's near my house, for example, and the fact that like they always have these very long lines because they have 4 of the touchscreen systems and only 2 of them work because like no one knows how to fix the other 2, like as far as I'm aware, right? And so it's just like, well, this hasn't like made anything easier. It's made it like more difficult. And also like we you know, in this country we experience all the time like the effects of that type of kind of, you know, these so-called technological upgrades that exist so that they cut costs. And really, and I guess like the point I'm trying to get to is that like it's one thing to sort of make an argument of like, okay, we want to sort of like introduce more modern technology as part of like, you know, a sort of expansive overhaul of the NHS in order to make it function better. But the actual like what they're trying to do is just sort of be like, we want to integrate AI into everything, not really to sort of improve health outcomes, not really to actually achieve anything other than to sort of like sustain the AI hype and make money off the back of it. You know,
I'll say this, a couple of things. Number one, the fax machine, it's a folk devil. It's a folk devil in the NHS that these people love to evoke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, so Multiverse on Monday, in order to do this, has announced a major tie-up with Palantir.
That's right, baby. Let's go.
One of the other great sons, I guess grandsons.
Well.
Yeah, Euan Blair and Louis Mosley, who we spoke about in the interview with Sasha on the free episode, believe there could be things are about to change because of their tie-up. Palantir has spent months introducing its software into NHS trusts and hooking up their disparate data sources. All trusts are being ordered to sign up for it for critical work by April next year. Multiverse's training for NHS staff will begin next February with the cost covered by the government's growth and skills levy. So Euan's found another pot of money to put himself in front of.
Cool. That's impressive, actually.
Here's the incredible set of sentences. Having the technology is all well and good, but the NHS actually has to encourage its staff to use Palantir's AI tools to their full potential. That's where Euan Blair steps in.
Oh, goodness.
Just a quick question. Is this popular with healthcare workers? Do they like doing it?
No, they don't.
Not until Multiverse get involved.
Okay.
They hate
Multiverse's
this.
job is to be like, hey, so you know Palantir? You know the guys who are, you know, sort of deeply enmeshed in all the worst and sort of nastiest parts of the security state? Well, why don't you try incorporating them into your practice?
Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
And it even says, because it's the Telegraph, they're even like, Palantir is even helping the NHS absorb the impact of resident doctor strikes. You can use it to break strikes.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing does seem a bit like a heavy-handed metaphor where they're like, the idea is for Euan Blair to help guide NHS staffs through the steps required to get the most out of Louis Mosley.
I mean, like, I hope nobody here minds me saying this, but I find Euan Blair sort of aggravating.
The thing is, we actually do tend to brief every guest before they come on. We must have missed that one.
He's actually funding Mumdan AI, so yeah, that's a good deal.
You have to check with the most controversial stances. I mean, no, because my issue with Euan Blair and the Blair family more broadly is that, like, first of all, we already have one Blair who's wandering around telling us that we're doomed if we don't get involved with like AI and digital ID. Like, your dad already does that, and he is one of the primary reasons the world is in such a dire condition right now. And none of those are the reasons that you or your dad want to acknowledge, let alone talk about. So there's that. But then, like, the other thing about it is that, like, I was just thinking the other day with like Trump having MBS at the White House, and like Trump is literally pointing over at MBS and being like, yeah, it turns out like no one actually liked Khashoggi and it's kind of good that he died. And MBS is like, okay, great. Like, Tony Blair has his entire job for 20 years has been like greasing the wheels between like Gulf states, monarchies and dictatorships and making them more like amenable on a diplomatic stage. And like, he's completely redundant. And like, this entire project here with Multiverse with Euan Blair is basically him coming along being like, I'm Tony Blair's son and I'm here to grease the wheels in order to get you in touch with Palantir. And Palantir are just like, yeah, we're already fucking in the building. Like, we don't, like, it is an entire family of redundancy. And in terms of like sharing cost and like dead weight or something, like, the number one thing would be for you guys to just please just go away and stop talking because you're not actually needed. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, like, even without the Blairs, like, we have Wes Streeting, the porcelain child, like waiting in the wings just like to jump in and do it all. Like, you are not required. You are surplus to requirements. Go and enjoy your money.
That's the thing. To them, it is essential, right? In like the same way as we see with a lot of other things where it's like, no, one of the sort of unavoidable things, one of the points of doing things this way is so that Euan Blair can get his money up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, look, for such a son as that to go unpaid, for such
it would
a
be
son
a scandal.
As that,
It would be horrific. I wouldn't want to live in a country that didn't pay Euan Blair, potentially millions to do nothing.
Oh yeah, because of course, has his company ever turned a profit? Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, that's just because he's so like caring towards. Yeah, exactly.
He wants to give everyone AI training, I guess now apparently.
Yeah, and you're welcome.
He wants to shepherd Louis Mosley into the NHS to break the power of organized labor.
No, you swayed me.
It does feel like quite a fucking, I don't know if I could even call it a metaphor. It's the literal thing. It just is the thing.
Yeah.
It is just, it's galling to see it.
You don't want first is tragedy, second time is fast to be true as often and as like, as regularly as it is.
Yeah. Like we should have been done with the dads. We shouldn't be getting the son redo performance.
Yeah, like a guy who reads Marx one time and is like, you can predict everything that's going to happen, should have stayed a joke in Hail Caesar rather than a type of person you actually kind of end up being.
Yeah, it's just like with the Epstein emails thing. It's like, I really thought it would be more complex than this.
Can I draw attention to a certain paragraph that really pricked my attention?
Yeah.
I'm just going to read this. So far, at least, the market is buying what Mosley and Palantir are selling. Shares are up 2,000% since the launch of ChatGPT 3 years ago, while UK revenues last year hit 304 millions. So first of all, did you know that disco record sales were up 400% for the year ending 1976? Secondly, Riley, quick question. Do we have any knowledge about how Mosley's boss, Peter Thiel's stake in NVIDIA is doing?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about Oracle.
He didn't offload his entire stake in NVIDIA maybe 3 days ago.
No, neither did Masayoshi Son. To be fair, that was just to invest in OpenAI again. Yeah. That's, of course, the other thing about Palantir is, again, that the Telegraph article entirely elides, is that Palantir is a meme stock. It's one of the meme stocks. It's like retail traders just ape into it wholesale. This is a thing that happened. It has been for like since COVID, not just since the launch of fucking ChatGPT.
Hey, but fringe benefit from this, we're all going to get to see a lot more of Alex Karp. Aren't we happy about that?
I love that.
He has a sword. He's a sword guy.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
They mentioned that in the article as well.
You mentioned that in the article. All right. I want to move on. I want to talk about Greylark, Geospy, weaponized GeoGuessr, whatever. So Greg and I have been talking about like a good topic for him to come on with, and I stumbled across this company while following the posts of following a chain of the quote tweets of an annoying guy, essentially.
It's one of the best ways to do it, I would say.
Oh, of course.
Guy-powered research,
Listen, this guy is annoying and he is a guy.
He is annoying, he's a guy.
On both of those points.
His name's Daniel Heinen. He's from Boston, and he's created a version of GeoGuessr for cops.
This is weaponized geoguessr. Like,
Yeah.
I wish it was more complicated than that, but that is exactly what it is. Like, I really didn't think the revolution was going to hinge on that one guy, basically, for the next 6 months in order to thwart this technology, basically sitting in a room going, yeah, goat farm Uzbekistan, goat farm Uzbekistan, goat farm Uzbekistan, just to confuse this program. That is literally, it's all hinging on this at this point.
We have to turn Rainbolt to the side of good, right? Like if he isn't already. We have to get Rainbolt and DSA.
Look, we've identified that the Chap Hop people, our intel. I mentioned
intelligence
once,
received is listen, we have people everywhere, and if you mention Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer, right, someone will reach out to you and go, oh yeah, Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer's woke, he's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's not cool.
Yeah. No, let's not start using the C word. Cool.
No,
about Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer.
I will happily concede that Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer and other sort of chat pop luminaries are like politically on the right side. It's a big tent, right? It's a sort of doesn't have to be it's a bus, not a taxi, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect coalition.
We don't have to sit near them. It's fine.
No one thing works. It's going to take everybody rapping at it from different angles to bring it down.
Sending out the Manchurian candidate activation phrase for Uncle Adams.
So we're talking about Greylark, which has a product called GeoSpy, weaponized GeoGuessr. They say, enhance your investigation. You know, your investigations with AI-powered location intelligence designed to help government and law enforcement teams uncover critical insights faster and with greater precision. And they also say they help enterprise investigations with faster, smarter location intelligence.
Yeah, location intelligence or knowing where stuff is.
Yes. They call it visual superintelligence or
I
super
call
knowing
that
where
where
stuff is.
stuff is. Yeah,
Like super by a lot. I know where a lot is. But they're all their videos that they post on their social media show examples of using their platform. And again, it's videos of people using their platform. So I always am like, I don't know how much of this to believe, because some of it's certainly possible in theory, but like how much of this is hugely overhyped? It is, again, it's hard to say. It's not like we have access to their back end and we wouldn't know what to do with it if we did. But what they claim to be able to do is take a photo, any random social media photo, and the example that they use, or one of the examples they use is some drill rap, and be like, we can locate these criminals.
Cool.
And then they take a tiny screenshot of this drill rap video, and then they upload it to their program, and then it geoguesses the whole thing. And they say, oh, we can do buildings. We can identify anything from tiny blurry pixels because our AI is so good. Again,
I am
take
skeptical.
Take it with a boulder of salt.
Where's your kind of data for that coming from?
Yeah. But also, I think whenever we talk about these companies, we talk about them as though that what they're saying is plausible because it shows what they want to do and what people want them to do and what the market seems to like. So a detective at a large metro police department said, Greylark helped us apprehend a dangerous fugitive in under 20 minutes. This tool is unbelievable, a game changer for law enforcement operations.
Arguably, if it was within 20 minutes, maybe not that dangerous then. Also, this is the other thing, is especially like with everything, but especially in relation to product endorsements, no one lies more than the police, right? Like you really have to internalize that. And particularly whenever they get cops to say, hey, we love this technology really works. No, it doesn't, right? Like you can look at shit like, I don't know, anything, ShotSpotter, for instance, for that. Like Chicago spent millions on that and it didn't fucking work ever.
Oh, can I give you a new example of that? That's like 3 days ago. That was just been rattling around in my head.
Please, yeah.
So you know how Ben Horowitz just keeps giving the Las Vegas Police Department like Predator drones?
Yeah.
The Horowitz from Andreessen Horowitz. He is now deployed.
The one with the normal shaped head.
Yeah, the normal head guy.
Or it's like sort of the inverse. It's got a big divot in the top of it.
So this is a press release. In a highly visible move blending innovation, corporate influence, and public safety. Don't you love when a highly visible move blends innovation, corporate influence, and public safety?
I would say that that's one of my favorite things. And also I would express that with like 3 M dashes as well.
The Las Vegas Police Department has rolled out the country's largest fleet of cyber trucks donated by Ben Horowitz.
Awesome.
I support any tech bros project to make America's police cars worse.
Do you have a lot of them lying around by any chance?
Yeah, well, they appear to.
Oh, strange.
So they say. Also, yeah, it's like what we're doing is all those cops, they feel like Halo. It was in Vegas too.
Yeah. Vegas, the sort of unreality field extends to having a loop there and having Cybertruck police cars there.
Yeah, so like they donated a bunch of like drones, plate readers, just basically Andreessen Horowitz just using Las Vegas as like the test bed for police technology. And now it's like, okay, you have the country's largest fleet of Cybertrucks. You have the country's largest fleet of unintentional vehicle-borne IEDs now.
Does a police car need to be able to like hit a curb without exploding?
Should a leaf be able to fall on it without it catching fire? This is another example, though, because like the Las Vegas Police Department now will just be like, we love everything Ben Horowitz gives us. We think it's great. So the thing they claim is, back to the Greylark, is that their visual intelligence platform turns photos into intelligence, no metadata required.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing I want, it's security programs that work off of less information. That's really good.
Pretty good.
Please, have at it.
Geospy has enabled law enforcement government agencies to act swiftly, determining the locations of suspects and criminals. So both.
They called it Geospy?
Yep.
Cool.
It's like
Yeah.
geoguessr, but, you know, more operator. What if Rainbolt was like wearing a skull net gaiter?
And like a high cut helmet? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What if Rainbolt was dressed exactly like the glasses guy from Sicario?
One of my favorite things about Geospy is they've actually segmented it into 3 separate products, and I'm just going to read them to you now. Global search estimates the location of an image anywhere in the world, typically within 1 to 100 kilometers, without needing prior location input. That's one. Now we zoom in a little bit more. Street search pinpoints the location of a street level image within a few meters when the city is known or specified. Now we zoom in a little bit more. Property search identifies the exact location of a building or nearby structure from an image, provided the city is known. The whole time I was reading that, I was just thinking of Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, just looking up from that family's photo packs and going, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
Oh, also the margin of error of between 1 and 100 kilometers.
Don't worry about it.
It's like, listen, we got you 100 kilometers away from whatever it is. I wouldn't lose any sleep over this.
Sorry, you hate innovation.
Quick question.
Details.
Quick question.
I do.
Has a police officer or federal law enforcement official ever been a dangerous stalker?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Don't worry about it.
How
Probably not.
how many stories have you read in your life about the police going to the wrong address by accident and then raiding that address and, like, I don't know, driving an MRAP through a wall full of puppies, or like, you know, throwing a flashbang into someone's baby's cot or whatever.
I don't want to cross promote too much, but that's exactly what took down Randall Weddle in London, Kentucky. Was they didn't have Geospy. So yeah, but you say they have these products, and again, like, this used to be available to just for people to use, and half the use cases that people used it for were cheating on GeoGuessr or like stalking someone. Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Two equally dishonorable pursuits as far as I'm concerned.
But they also have this article about why heroes deserve AI.
Heroes deserve the most AI.
All police officers deserve a Tesla Cybertruck, in my opinion. A great big
It takes a
Tesla
lot of
Cybertruck.
training to do whatever this fucking computer tells me to do.
Because also, by the way, it's another great accountability sync of just being like, oh, I drove the MRAP, like what you were saying, November, is I drove this MRAP through this guy's house and I killed all of his dogs and also him. And it was the AI.
Yeah,
AI told me to do it.
should have given me the right address, but it didn't. And so ultimately, I'm blameless here.
Yeah, and then just like the self-driving car thing, it's like, well, you know, without AI assistance, cops do that all the time. And it's like, yes, but now they're able to claim that they're not liable for it.
Yeah, and it's just like frequency as well. It's like, if this becomes a kind of standard investigative tool, then it's like all the time this will go wrong, you know?
Yeah, it's just wherever this is deployed, there will be as many MRAPs as there will be crushed walls and squished dogs.
It's like a distinct kind of dystopia where it's like you can now be killed because your doorbell matched the description, you know?
It'd be like one of those nature documentaries of the honeybees like massing around a hornet to kill it, except it's just MRATs going on someone's dog.
Yeah, sorry we parked 50 Cybertrucks on top of you and your family, but in our defense, your car looks kind of like the car that we thought we were looking for, which turned out to be wrong.
Yeah, we were actually looking for a snowman with a broken nose. Sorry.
Just cops like smashing through a wall going, you just got geoguessed.
So GCA 4, right? The cop AI in that didn't have, it might not have been 4, it might have been one of the early ones, but the cop AI was as simple as get as close to the player as possible, which led to them accidentally implementing, like, you know, ramming the car off the road or whatever. But now we're just doing that in real life. And that's going to be fantastic, I think.
Well, you know what? The way I see this kind of thing is it is an AI hallucination in real life is what that will do. Because if the 20 MRAPs crash through your house, demolishing it because of fucking weaponized geoguessr, then what you have done is you have lived inside an AI hallucination.
100 MRAPs, 25 each cardinal compass direction, right? All converge directly on top of my absolutely obliterated body.
And then you turn around and say, like, you destroyed my house. And they turn around and go, what house? And like, I wish I was joking about that, but like, so forgive me, I'm going to go like, so for some reason over the past few years, for whatever reason, I have somehow become conditioned to approach a lot of these products with the most cynical reading possible. Don't know why that is. But like the way I look at a lot of AI products, there is a sort of tendency within the use cases of these kind of AI products to operate in a sort of inverse relation with their proclaimed purpose or ultimate end, whether that is like truth, representation, understanding, informing, clarity, whatever. So like on these guys' website, Greylark, when they say law enforcement and intelligence agencies rely on it to geolocate photos for investigations and threat assessments, I think this will be used to generate evidence in its absence and fabricate threats. And when they say like corporate security teams use it to verify visual content tied to internal risk or asset tracking, I think this will be used for corporate espionage, sabotage and fraud. When they say in insurance and fraud prevention, Geospy helps confirm the legitimacy of image-based claims and detect suspicious activity, I say these will be used to penetrate deeper into and then widen the aperture of the space for denial of insurance claims. And then the last one here is really, really important. Like when they say, and I find this kind of egregious to be quite honest with you, journalists and open source investigators leverage its capabilities to verify the origins of media tied to breaking news, conflict zones, or misinformation. And when I read that, I simply wonder what the news would have looked like following, for example, the murder of journalist Shireen Abu Akleh during the raid on Jenin refugee camp in 2022. And it doesn't exactly inspire confidence when the accompanying photo they use to tout this misinformation combating capability is what appears to me to be an AI-generated image of a photographer in a pressed flak jacket in a nondescript urban war zone.
Incredible.
Your mileage may vary, but I have questions.
And to make it worse, the founder, like we said,
Please.
is an annoying guy.
Yes, this is true.
These are the two levels of analysis that you get from Trashichi, you know?
No, but like, and if I could just say one more thing, right? I don't know,
Please.
maybe I am being overly cynical, but this is the thing, right?
I don't think that's possible when it comes to companies like this.
Trying real hard. It's my first time, guys. I'm trying to be friendly and sociable. Because like in the instance of verifying images, media, stories coming out of war zones, for example, there are already groups, right? Like Forensic Architecture, who have been doing hard work performing like geospatial forensic investigations using audio and shrapnel analysis to like meticulously reconstruct the sites of, for example, war crimes and reassemble events as they happened. But their work has not been enthusiastically received by, for example, Western governments because the information that they uncover and the analyses that they provide are not the kind that is sought by power. And therefore, it all just prompts the question for me is like, what is the actual function of this stuff?
Well, it's fine. Like, listen, you might say from, your painstaking investigation that the IDF appears to have parked 50 MRAPs on top of this hospital. However, our competing COP model shows that really it could have been anyone, And
then but the other thing for me, right, okay, like a few years ago, I was working at sort of like a small town department store and they were about to open with like a fragrance department and like perfumes and cosmetics and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was stood there on the launching day and I was looking around, I was like, you guys you're not prepared for what is about to happen when you open up in this small town with this new like high value goods department. I was like, you absolutely have not made the security preparations you need to do. Within the first 3 days, the same guy came in the morning 3 days in a row and chored the fuck out of the fragrance department. The second day, they came out with a CCTV image of like, yeah, this is the guy, this is what he looks like. On the third day, I was stood there as the shutters were coming up. I watched this guy walk in through the building, pull the cap down over his head. And then apparently I found out the next day, before he even chored the store, he had gone over to one of the facial counters, booked himself a facial while chatting up one of the counter girls, and then gone and robbed the store and walked out. And like, here's my thing when it comes to crime.
Man. Dudes are so cool. Anyway,
forgive me, when it comes to like law enforcement and fighting crime, like I have a little bit of a kind of like old school kind of sensibility where I'm like, it's a game of cat and mouse, and like there should be some kind of like gentlemanly honor to it, where it's like, I'm sorry, you have the cameras, you have like all these other things in the store. If you can't catch the guy, he just wanted it more. Like, I just think the idea that guy could now, like, if you really want to catch a guy like that, get a Columbo, get someone like that. The idea that like that guy can now be rumbled because like, let's say he's selling the stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and then they upload the image, and then someone gets a corner of a house in the background out of a window, and they find him. I just find it ungentlemanly. It sickens me.
Is it still police abolition if you want to replace the police with an all Columbo force?
I don't want 500 MRAPs. I want 5,000 Columbos. I want the cigar budget through the fucking roof. They're still cheaper. They're still cheaper than fucking MRAPs.
We will
and
issue
Cybertrucks.
you the grubbiest raincoat anyone has ever seen.
There's going to be so many more things. And there are going to be so many beloved wives.
I would like the episode title to be 5,000 Columbos, please.
Oh, November. Look at the group chat.
I was also going to say, this is also why, like, you know, many people are against Sadiq Khan in London because they all sort of say that, oh, like, crime has sort of gone up. And I'm not one of those people, but I'm against Sadiq Khan when it comes to crime, because what I do argue is that crime isn't honorable. You know, it's all just very, you know, I always like echoes Gregg's point, which is like, you know, there should be more honor in crime. There should be like, you know, you should want to do the crime, but you should also want to sort of like catch the criminal, and like that want should be so like instinctive, if not even erotic at times.
You should be involved in a complicated kind of doomed Yuri situation with at least one of those Columbos.
Hussein, are you describing the plot of the movie Entrapment starring Catherine Zeta-Jones?
I was trying to describe the movie Heat, but that also is
They're
true.
kind of the same movie.
I don't care how big or small the crime is. Every single criminal encounter between like criminal and law should be on the level of Heat.
Yeah,
Like,
you have a mandated diner encounter.
absolutely in the department store cafe. Like if I see you in the fragrance department peeling off that security sticker, you're going down.
Getting accused of snapping the security tag off a dress at Primark and going, for me, the action is the juice.
See, this is the thing, because I can even remember the manager coming over to me and they're like, we need you with this blue permanent marker. All the security tags on the fragrances, we need you to put like a little blue dot on the stickers. And I was like, why am I putting the blue dot on the security stickers? They're like, because we keep getting robbed in the fragrance department. And I was like, so what is this going to do? They were like, well, we keep finding stickers peeled off and thrown on the floor. So at the very least, like if we find stickers on the floor that have a blue mark on them, we know it's come from the fragrance department. So I was like,
Oh, this crew is good.
so I was like, so you guys are getting got. You just want to find out how bad you're getting got.
You know what I think I figured out what they're looking at. You know what they're looking at? Us. The department store loss prevention department. Oh, this crew is good.
being sort of a fragrance Waingro who imperils the heist.
You need, you need some type of like Columbo character, but the Columbo character like is also sort of like Jeremy Fragrance.
Well, the spectrum of honor in crime and law enforcement extends from Columbo on the one hand, the most honorable cop, to Waingro, the most dishonorable criminal, right? Like,
That's it. Like I will be there, Columbo, because I'll come in and I was like, yeah, just one more thing. My wife loves you. One more question. Your security department, what wage are they on? £13 an hour. Gee, you know, that seems very awfully low.
5,000 Columbos approaching my location. I am delighted.
The future is so close. We can,
Ambling towards my exact location.
it's a future so close. I can taste it. I can smell it. I can smell it.
We've deployed the Columbo Rapid Response Force.
Unless we build 5,000 Columbos future.
I'll take that one. I'll take.
May I
Yeah,
please?
Please.
Sorry to do a segue. I have a question to ask Riley. Did you have a look at the LinkedIn page for the company?
I didn't look at the LinkedIn page. I looked at I read their entire blog.
That's so exciting.
Where they're like, yeah, we started as three brothers living in a one-bedroom apartment in Boston.
Okay,
so however annoying you thought they were, give it a specific Boston inflection, please.
So when I was looking at this, I wasn't quite sure whether to not take it seriously or to be kind of terrified by it. And I'm still on the fence about that. However,
that's where we live.
absolutely, we are in that zone. Welcome. But I did. I went onto the Greylark LinkedIn. I'm so excited to talk to you about this because I went onto their LinkedIn, started looking through it. And I was wondering, should I be worried about this or should I treat it with derision that it deserves, or is it a little bit of both? I'm going to read a post to you now that I found on the Greylark LinkedIn page from 1 week ago. Presumably November 11th. Veterans Day isn't just a date on the calendar. It's a reminder
I see an M
of the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment shown by those who served.
Doing the German 3.
Today and every day, we pause to honor you. Thank you for defending what so many of us get to simply enjoy. Now, I'm not finished.
Wait, so every day. So Veterans Day is every day at Greylark.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
But I'm
Excellent.
not finished because there was an image attached which had a quote from General Mark A. Milley. I'm going to read you that quote now. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for defending what so many of us get to simply enjoy. We are the home of the free because we are the home of the brave. Would anyone like to guess what I'm going to tell you now?
I'm almost thinking that Mark Milley maybe did not say those words in that order?
Yeah, not true, baby. Made it up. I have been on Google and I was using the quote marks and everything. I've been searching high and low, trying to find any event in which General Mark A. Milley said anything resembling those words. I have not been able to find them anywhere. So, yeah, made up, not true, fake quote.
Also,
false.
weird for like a sort of verified Twitter Elon poster to be quoting the soy woke gay general that didn't do January 6th.
Because there are two sentences in that quote that are very distinctive. So I invite anyone who's listening to search for either "thank you for defending what so many of us get to simply enjoy," or "we are the home of the free because we are the home of the brave." Not land of the free. We are the home of the free because we are the home of the brave. If you search that on Google, you will get precisely one Google result. Daniel Heinen's Twitter.
I mean, this is the thing. What we really need is we need an image of like a tactical rain bolt just saluting.
And I would just also like to point out one other thing that I found out on their LinkedIn. There were several things I found on their LinkedIn, to be clear, but one that really stood out to me. One of the demos of their product was using footage from a recent far-right mob attacking a migrant hotel in Dublin, which I thought was really, really funny because it immediately made me think about the British security services being like, "Oh my God, guys, we can't find Tommy."
Has anyone seen him?
Oh, he's in Cyprus again.
God damn it.
Shaking a fist behind 500 MRAPs.
The clumsiest MI5 officer in the world who just keeps losing his number.
Yeah, one more thing. My wife loves Cyprus.
So Daniel Heinen, this is from his blog.
Oh, good.
He says, at our peak, GeoSpy had 2 million free users and averaged about 120,000 searches a day. Many of my friends insisted I should monetize the free traffic and capitalize on the AI hype. And in Q1 of 2025, we'd completely sunset the public platform to focus on law enforcement and government applications. Some people asked why we made this decision and potentially forfeited millions of dollars in easy revenue. And the answer to that, of course, is they wanted to get money from Andreessen Horowitz's American Dynamism division. But the founder of the American Dynamism division is too busy like complaining about like that kids get empathy lessons in schools. He says, when we first launched GeoSpy, we started as 3 brothers working out of a 1-bedroom apartment in Boston.
3 brothers.
Yeah, but now you look at like Daniel Heinen's Twitter feed.
1 brother.
The other 2 brothers, nowhere to be seen, airbrushed out of the photo.
Yeah.
I hope people understand what I mean when I say this. He has such a brotherly face.
Mom says it's my turn on the surveillance machine.
And so now he just does like engagement farming posts where he's like, all right, Daniel Heinen here, red flags in a girl's apartment. Number 1, closing the floor.
Bro, who are you?
Number two, not easily identifiable from any local landmarks. No, it says closets overflowing with clothes, pile of Amazon boxes, open food containers in the bedroom, any lamp from Target, a Nespresso machine, tapestry art, and hair in the
Espresso
shower.
machine in the bedroom is nasty work, to be fair. Like,
Yeah, well,
he
it's just his
has kind of
apartment.
got you there. In the apartment?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's not great coffee, but who fucking cares? Like,
The thing
honestly.
is, as you're reading these posts, you need to picture the head of a regional police department reading these posts and going facts and clicking try a demo.
What, just like 60-year-old like cop with like 1 million hours of overtime racked up and, you know, currently on paid administrative leave being like, that is a red flag in a girl's apartment.
I'm pretty certain this is 90. I still haven't seen it yet. I'm 90% sure this is what the sheriff in Eddington is doing on his phone all day.
You know, and also he has clearly told everyone who works for him to like post online.
Yeah, for his bits, which is rough. You're kind of like a posting slave, you know. You're his straight man, effectively. You're his Costello.
So his Anastasia Sakurava, the director of operations at Greylark, you know, she's like posting a sort of like a picture doing side eye, being like, how I look at my CEO after he refuses to let me expense the SF Girls weekly brunch. Then he responds with another one that's like, oh, the way my director of ops, and when her 2-week-old account is getting more views than mine, and it's like, they on business trips?
That's cool, fun banter. That's delightful, and this is certainly going to appeal to a guy with neck rolls on the back of his head that look like a sort of shrink wrapped set of hot dogs.
And then he's then like replied to it with a post like quoting her post saying, "Boys, why are you letting her ratio me?" And I'm like, man, do your job. I'm sorry, like I said, 3 days in a row, chore the fuck out of the department store. I see people that want it and are working for money and grinding, and it's not you. Please, this is what I mean. I'm sorry, there's honor in crime. There's no honor in this. This is a dishonorable man.
He should cut off his top knot.
It's so undignified. It's so undignified.
But the thing is, the Boston equivalent of the top knot is they cut the bill off your baseball cap you're wearing backwards.
No, they make you wear a baseball cap, but that is completely flat.
Yeah,
it's not broken in.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've mentioned Boston so many times. Another thing from their LinkedIn was a post from the CEO and co-founder where he touted their product's ability to locate a heavily blurred image of Boston Common within a mile. And he ended with a line saying, blurring isn't a reliable defense anymore, which is just like, yeah, thanks, man. That's great. That's really cool.
Isn't Boston Common, like, maybe I have a grotesquely inflated opinion of the size, but isn't it about a mile?
Very likely. But it's very impressive nonetheless. I'm sure you'll agree.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about the end of like Casino and forcing Boston Joe Pesci to wear a forwards baseball cap. Making him watch as his brother is forced to wear a forwards baseball cap.
Making him watch as his brother is forced to like wear a forwards New York Mets baseball cap. In fact.
Oh my God. I've just seen he did a post where he's engaged in a farming and he said, what is something you can say to a VC and in the bedroom, which got 17 likes. And then in reply to his own post, he's then said, my partner is going to love you.
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty
Facts.
good. Yeah, he's so cool. Yeah, no one has ever been hungry because you can always tell if they want the teal bucks or the A16Z bucks. No one has ever been hungrier for the Andreessen Horowitz money than this guy.
It's like specifically like Revenge of the Nerd shit. Like between this and like Alex Karp's sword, I'm just like being governed by the worst fucking idiots imaginable.
I mean, like, if I could end with like a slightly more serious point about this stuff, like continuing on from what I was saying earlier about this kind of like inverse relation to truth and everything like that, like all these kind of like security, policing and militarization, like AI technologies for me, like the benchmark of this tendency for me is still the Lavender AI system that the IDF was using or is still using in Gaza, which was like supposedly a smart targeting program to generate quote unquote legitimate targets for airstrikes. But like from what I could see the real purpose of the system was to generate like thousands of targets that could all be signed off in a few seconds with as little human oversight as possible, when it's like the question of overall decisionism can be like basically abstracted out to a machine, which could be technically delegated as responsible, but also kind of deliberately and aspirationally rendered like charges of responsibility or liability or culpable, like practically impossible. So you get this kind of like disattributed sovereignty where like the machine made me do it, but then it's like, okay, so whose fault is it? It's like, well, not mine, the machine did it. It's like, okay, so who's running the machine? Like, and I think the best example of like the kind of weird space that then takes us into was like, I remember 972 magazine reported that the system had only a 10% error rate, but then later reporting 972 confirmed that the IDF's own numbers of killings in Gaza showed something like 80% of the people killed were civilians. So you're left with this dynamic where there's like a 10% error rate alongside a 90% civilian death toll, and no one even blinks because like truth, veracity, clarity, so on, they've all just been pulverized by a machine. And so as far as all this stuff is concerned, for me, like their utility lies precisely in their potential to destabilize the thing they proclaim to secure. And whether they do that deliberately or just by being wrong, for me, like it's almost beside the point. So
yeah,
like whether this kind of stuff like works or not for me is almost irrelevant. And like and I think Riley's absolutely correct to point out that like this is ultimately just sort of like gesticulating and prostrating for teal bucks. Like that is the game. That is the entire game. And like all these other things in the proclaimed goals, and even just having like a pull quote like Mr. Detective from unnamed police department is like, yeah, this is great and we love it and we use it all the time and we caught a felon. Like, yeah, whatever. Do you mean like why try harder?
Yeah.
Why even try?
Look, yeah, as you say, it already does the thing you need it to do, which is be credible enough to allow the people who matter to go, good enough. We can mete out violence on the basis of this.
Absolutely.
That's fine. It's the same thing as that fucking like face search Clearview thing, where it's like, yeah, you can take a picture of someone on your phone and be like, yeah, that person seems like they've been arrested before. You should treat them with like fear and suspicion. You know, it's all good enough as justification for what you wanted to do anyway, which is harass the people who've been getting harassed for fucking ever.
Yeah, I mean, like it's within the activity of policing, you know, like there is no search for evidence. There is like a pursuit of the production or generation of evidence, you know, and that's what I mean. Like tools like this, like I don't view it as a thing that's going to facilitate greater accuracy or precision. If it does, that'll be incidental to its actual like primary function, which will be to generate evidence, to generate justifications and things for what police were already wanting or desiring to do. It's desiring production.
Wait, you're telling me that this law enforcement is like criminogenic?
Listen to Bloodwork.
Oh Oh, see, I knew this was the right company for you.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's wonderful and dumb. Like absolutely. Actually, that's like I said. Like I look at stuff like this, and then like I really don't know whether I'm supposed to be laughing at it or terrified. And like even in the preparation, yes, exactly. But like even in the preparation for this, like for about a year ago, I went to see The Conversation, the Francis Ford Coppola film with Gene Hackman, and like I've had a lot of thoughts about that film because it animates so much of my thinking about this kind of stuff. Because with the character of Gene Hackman in The Conversation, you have this guy who he so deeply and intensely understands the security and the surveillance world that he wants to retreat into the private sphere, but even his private sphere has been completely penetrated and corrupted by this space. And then the only way that he can kind of preserve or have any kind of sense of privacy or personal space or interiority is to basically destroy everything. And I think that so many people right now are struggling with that kind of stuff when it comes to surveillance and everything like that. Where I would much rather not have to deal with and confront this kind of stuff every single day. But the only way that I could reasonably or feasibly do that is to cut myself off from the world entirely and turn myself into a hermit.
Never post another picture.
Yeah, and it's absolutely maddening. And I don't have an answer for that, but it is one that I'm glad I've been able to at least enunciate it, because it really does. It drives me fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, that's basically, that's the promise of this show. Look, I think we're about hitting time here, so I just want to say, Greg, thank you so much for coming actually out today.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And to suggest people go check out Bloodwork.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've got a little pitch here. Basically, so yeah, Bloodwork, it's a podcast exploring the phenomenon of this thing that we call violence, broadly construed. So political, economic, libidinal, social, and other terms. It's produced by Thomas O'Mahony, who some of you may know from Lions Led by Donkeys, and he's been doing a really phenomenal job taking my scripts and injecting them with sound drops and quirks. A little bit of theory, a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of history, and so on. So we've already done, for example, an episode on Walter Benjamin, Carl Schmitt, Giorgio Agamben. We did a 2-part episode on the history of the car bomb, and I think, depending on when this drops, we've got an episode about the history of the Attica prison uprising. And one thing I would just sort of throw the bat signal out to the TF kind of universe, we do want to do a few more kind of fun episodes about film, media, art, or whatever. So if there's anyone listening who would like to do, for example, an analysis of Michael Mann's Heat through the lens of the critique of violence.
I'm cracking every knuckle in my body at once.
Nova, I'm so glad to hear you say
that.
The
podcast is the juice.
And if there is someone out there who would like to talk about Paul Schrader's Man in a Room trilogy and maybe what they have to say about the function of violence and masculinity and the relation between the two, hit my line.
Are you gonna ask if anyone wants to talk about Tenet as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Tenet defender.
Whoa, really? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really rare to find someone. Genuinely, it's really rare to find someone.
Not that we were in any way set against it, but this is a masterclass over about an hour of how to win over the room.
No, first,
I mean, I was also going to say I was also cracking my neck when the Paul Schrader stuff sort of came up.
Oh, that's so good to hear it. But no, honestly, first time I watched Tenet, I was like, okay, I think this might be the dumbest film I've ever watched. The second time I watched it, I was kind of okay, and then the third time I locked in, I was like, this makes absolute perfect sense.
You know what? The cogs are in motion.
No, it does make sense. You just have to pay really close attention.
You just have to lock in.
You
have to lock in.
Well, this is exactly what Christopher Nolan was intending, but you get off your dang phone. And the problem was no one could get off their dang phones. And so they were looking up and they were just like, oh shit, who are they fighting? Which is a question I still ask at the end, who are they shooting at? But maybe we can talk about that.
Fucking sucks though.
So sorry, Greg, please continue.
So I was just gonna say, patreon.com Bloodwork Show. You can find all the episodes. They're all free on there right now, and you can subscribe. We're on Blue Sky at bloodwork.show. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Bloodwork Show. If you can't find us, then my suggestion would be go onto your social media site of choice, post a picture of your favorite celebrity or cartoon character holding a gun with the phrase "Listen to Bloodwork." 2 words, Bloodwork. Post that, and myself or Tom will be along shortly. And you should try it. It works. It really works. Also, shout out to a guy called Bert on Blue Sky who posted a photo of his own 9mm with the serial covered over with a handwritten message saying "Listen to Bloodwork," saying this is your final warning. I don't want to say that I'm encouraging that kind of behavior, but I will say if you want to get my attention, that works.
Okay, well, clear call to action. Check out Bloodwork. Once again, thank you very much, Greg, for coming on the show. Thank you very much to all our lovely subscribers for subscribing, my lovely co-host for being here, and we'll see you on the free episode on Monday-ish. Bye-bye. No, Tuesday. We record on Monday. It comes out on Tuesday. You know how it is. You know how it is. You're a subscriber. You know the schedule. Bye, everybody.
Bye.